Welcome everyone. Today we are having the first webinars. I mean, let's say in English, because actually Sweden already got the first webinar to introduce the third call for technical assistance. And we will have the pleasure to have two additional speakers that will give you a different perspective. It's with me, Alison De Luise, that it's part of the European Covenant of Mayors and specifically the liaison officer with EPAH, focusing on energy poverty, and will give us the chance to understand better how energy poverty is important as the third pillar of the Covenant of Mayors, and explain the collaboration between the Covenant of Mayors and EPAH, especially connected with the technical assistance. And then to give you an idea about the previous technical assistance we have with Mireia Matencio, that is from Besançon municipality. They were beneficiaries of the second technical assistance, and we invited them to give you an idea what was the work done with them and how then the municipality was able to move forward, keep focusing on energy poverty. After that, we will enter into detail about the specific rules of this third call for technical assistance, the deadlines, and the different specification. And you will have the chance to pose questions on all the three panels. As Mireia will be with us only half an hour, the questions for Mireia, I will give it soon after her presentation, but without further waiting, I will give the word to Alison to give us a quick introduction about energy poverty for the Covenant of Mayors signatory.
Great, thank you. Let me just share my screen. Is that in full screen mode? Yep, okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, firstly, a very warm welcome from myself on behalf of the EU Covenant of Mayors. So as Dora already mentioned, I'm Alison De Luise, and amongst other things, I support on this collaboration, making sure that the EPAH and the Covenant of Mayors, which are both sister initiatives of the Commission, work as closely and effectively together as possible. So just in case any of you are actually not familiar with the Covenant of Mayors, we're a European Commission initiative. We're 16 years old this year, and our goal is to support local authorities across Europe to achieve their 2050 visions of decarbonised and resilient cities with access to affordable, secure and sustainable energy. So we have about 11,000 signatories as we speak, and they come from all 27 member states, and each of them makes a political commitment to achieve this vision, and that has to be then backed up by the development and implementation and monitoring of what's called a Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan. And as Dora also mentioned, we have three pillars. We focus on mitigation, adaptation, and energy poverty. So today our focus is very much on the energy poverty pillar, although of course we try to look for opportunities to ensure integration across all three. And so I mentioned that the initiative, the Covenant of Mayors, started back in 2008, and it focused on energy and decarbonisation, but it's evolved a lot over time in line with emerging EU policies and priorities. And so back in 2015, there was a recognition that issues of equity and justice were really essential for ensuring this just transition. And here, therefore, emerged this energy poverty pillar. So back in 2015, the topic of energy poverty and the knowledge and the guidance and the support to municipalities was still what I'd call pretty nascent and developing. So for the production of resources and technical support to our signatories, we relied very strongly, firstly, on what was the EU Energy Poverty Observatory, and then its successor initiative, the Energy Poverty Advisory Hub. They really are the group that provide us with, and our signatories, with all of their sort of more technical and sort of guidance-oriented materials. And so over that initial period when we started, signatories were encouraged to start integrating energy poverty into their CCAPs, those plans I mentioned before, and into the reporting, but it wasn't actually a requirement. But now that the topic and the support and the guidance for it, particularly thanks to EPAH, have matured considerably, we are now requiring signatories to articulate at least one energy poverty goal within their CCAPs. and identify at least one energy poverty action against which they need to report. And I say one, but this is of course only a minimum. We know that many cities, particularly those that have been supported by EPA and their technical assistance, actually go well beyond this. But we want to start testing your muscles of signatories to really integrate energy poverty into the work they're doing. But we all recognize that this is really not an easy topic to navigate. And so we're really grateful for the many user resource-friendly materials that EPA has produced. And you can see some of them on the screen, obviously the website with a wealth of information, and also these really user-friendly guidance books that you can see sort of on the right of the screen. And we also have complemented this with covenant guidebooks, which are produced by the Joint Research Centre of the Commission, that then sort of situate this work a little bit more within the covenant framework. So today, though, is about sharing with you this, what we consider to be a really useful technical assistance opportunity that EPA is just about to launch, and which you're going to hear more about, and that you can sort of pair that with your needs, your advice, your support to really sort of take your energy poverty work to the next step. And again, more about what that support looks like will follow. But for now, I'm going to leave it here and strongly encourage you to consider applying after hearing a testimonial from Mireille from Besançon that's going to talk about how this technical support actually supported Besançon's work, and wishing you much luck in your journey forward. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alison. And I give the word to Mireia. You can share the screen and proceed with your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me well and do you see my screen? Great. So my name is Mireia Matencio, and I work for the City Council of Besançon in France in the Energy Management Department as an Energy Poverty Coordinator. And today I would like to share our experience with the EPA technical assistance we benefited from in 2023 and show you how it helped us to strengthen our local strategy to tackle energy poverty. And my aim is very simple. I will like to give you a concrete picture of what it looked like being supported by the EPA on the ground, what it changed for us. And I really encourage you to other local authorities to apply because it's really simple and it's really helpful, as you will see. So to give you a picture where the technical assistance take place, this is what we already do. In Besançon, we have a developed communique-based program to tackle energy poverty since 2013. It's a SLIM, Service Local d'Intervention pour la Maîtrise de l'Énergie, for the French people in the room. And our program focuses on identifying energy poverty households, assessing their situations through home visits, and providing both social and technical support. And this includes behavioral change, but also checks on heating and ventilation systems, and a lot of support and guidance on financial assistance and administrative procedures. And we wanted to better support private owners in order to carry out energy retrofit works. Especially in our context where less than 10% of our beneficiaries are private owners. So we wanted to secure the long-term strategy of our action through energy retrofit. And for this, we needed to better identify energy poverty households, which also were private owners, but also to check our finance tools. So the context, we've been existing for a long time, but we had like a stagnation, as I said, and in that moment we had a lot of public aids for private vulnerable households. Is not the case anymore because French government changed everything. But at that moment, we have a very important, a lot of public aids. But most of the people beneficiating from public aids were not vulnerable. So our purpose was to improve public policies on financing energy retrofit. The team, we worked internally, the energy department and the housing department. It could be an evidence for a lot of people, but not for us, because at that moment we didn't work together. We were like different departments, even not talking that much together. So it was the first opportunity to work together and to say, we are not doing your job. We have the same purpose. And as energy in the energy department, we secure this support for the housing strategy. So it was like a very good opportunity to work together in the same way. And we were supported by Énergie Demain. Since then, Françoise Refaber has created her own company, which is Philao Labs, and we are still in contact with her for the application of these technical assistants. The first part of our technical assistance was a diagnosis. And the first thing we learned is that we thought that the energy poverty ratio was around 45%, only a bit more than the national level, but it was 30% instead. We couldn't believe it. I mean, in 2023, it cannot be possible. We know that Besançon, it's maybe more poor than the rest of the France, but it cannot be twice. Well, today is a fact. It's twice. So it was really open-minded because it changed the priorities, maybe. Well, at that moment, we couldn't believe it. Really, for 2 years, we have been saying, no, it cannot be possible. But now we are facing the reality. It is. So that diagnosis pointed out some effective results. Our strategy, what we have been doing, was working, but we have to ensure the longevity of this program. And for that, we had some areas of improvement. And the most important one, the one we decided to focus on, was leverage financing tools through an action plan. So the first thing we did, it was to review the distribution criteria of financial aids, and was something that was already ongoing by the housing department. So the energy demand confirmed what we thought. We wanted to set up a pre-finance solution for subsidies because we had subsidies, but vulnerable households cannot pre-finance works. Promote the distribution of eco loans with all the banks. And the last thing proposed was to set up a territorial assembler of high performance renovation, a one-stop shop. And it's something that we wanted to do, but maybe you don't know, but in France, we have municipal elections next month. And since 2023-24, with the end of these technical assistance, we have been carrying out on a study of positioning our support services in relation to ecological transition. So we have been thinking about create a local agency that could host this one-stop shop. Today, we have not decided if it will be an umbrella organization or we will have a standalone body like a one-stop shop. We're still wondering, but this technical assistance, they open our mind to what was happening in France and in Europe, the one-stop shop ecosystem and what it can provide to our inhabitants. And now it has become a common purpose for the energy department and the housing department. So everybody is okay. We want to go there. We don't know if it will be a one-stop shop or the umbrella organization, and it will be next major and elective representatives who will decide. But we are not just waiting. We are staying in contact with Filao Labs, and we joined the EU Peers Initiative. I think I saw Sébastien Descours among the the people there. So waiting the decision of new elective representatives, I really encourage you, if it's something that is of your interest, to join EU Peers. And to conclude, I would like to highlight that the EPA technical assistance brought to us. It gave us time and space to bring different departments and partners around the same table, to look at our policies with new eyes, and to build a shared and realistic action plan. It was also a great opportunity to get into a new network of professionals and other local authorities. We have benefited from a lot of opportunities working with the EPA team, but also with other local authorities. For example, I see Fernando from Getafe that creates new partnerships, and we are now together in a live project. So it's not only the technical assistance, it's also the network which has been really, really important and changing for us. So if you are hesitating to apply, my message is do it. You do not need to have everything perfect before starting. And it's really easy to fill the application form. So don't hesitate.
Thank you very much for your message. As I said, we had the pleasure to have Mireia, but she has an important internal meeting in the municipality. So if you have any question for her, I will welcome you to do it now. So then she can join her meeting. And maybe Mireia, you can stop sharing the screen so I see if there is someone in the audience with the hand raised or any other question in the chat. Of course, if you have a question even in the future, and when Mireia disconnects, I will be able to forward to her by email if you have some specific. But otherwise, this is the moment to ask. I give you some more seconds. I'm looking in the chat if there is something. Okay. Perfect. It looks like your presentation was very clear. Thank you, Mireia, for your time. Of course, you're welcome to stay as long as you can, but feel free to disconnect for your other commitments. And well, I got the feeling you will be submitting again. So let's see.
Thank you.
Have a good day. So let's now move forward with explaining the different rules of this third call for technical assistance. Many of them we kept. This application form, it's also very straightforward, as we will see, and we will have the possibility to ask different questions and actions. So I left here for you a general introduction in our videos to explain EPA and what the Energy Poverty Advisory Hub does, because our activities are much broader than the technical assistance, and local governments and local stakeholders can find support in multiple ways from EPA. Just to give you a general vision about what it is EPA. So we are at the European Commission's initiatives that is structured like a collaborative network of stakeholders aiming to eradicate energy poverty and accelerate the just transition of the European local government. Our goal is really to accelerate the just transition for all of local communities, and we already established, but we would like to continue to be the central platform for expertise in Europe. How does it work? We are a team of 5 organizations, Climate Alliance that I represent, NOVA, Acarion, EcoSurveys, and ICEFOR. But then we have the support of organizations that are called antennas that help us outreach in the different member states. And as you are probably aware, each of them is organizing webinar in the national language. So if you feel more comfortable to hear the rules and the explanation and to learn more about your local context, I really welcome you to follow the Technical Assistance webpage. I will give you the link after and search for your national webinar so you will feel more comfortable to contact the antennas in your country. What are our core objectives? The first, as I said, is to establish a network of support, so enhance collaboration of knowledge and sharing. Mireia also mentioned about it. We really think that across Europe, there are multiple solutions, multiple options to address energy poverty. And sometimes it's really important to learn from each other and try to replicate the different actions that has been prepared, learned from the experience of the other, and reinforce the collaboration. We can support developing data and knowledge to inform policies. We go from data and indicators collected through statistical level at European Union. You can find in our website at the dashboard. But then we support, as we were seeing from the example of Besançon, to also collect and understand how to better identify energy poverty at local level. And then we move to increase capacity of local communities through different tools. We organize multiple events across the years that focus on specific topics in the form of lunch talks or practitioner events. Of course, the technical assistance is the biggest capacity building for local communities, but then also we have national events and policy sessions where you can attend and understand more about the different topics. Let's enter into detail about the call for technical assistance. We are organizing and starting the webinars a little bit in advance, but officially the submission form on EU surveys will open the 16th of February early in the morning and will stay open till the 31st March at 6 in the evening, Brussels time. I leave here in the presentation that will then be uploaded on the website, the links. You find all the documents on the EPAH website. On the top menu, there is the last call, it's written technical assistance. If you go there, you can already find the description of the call with all the rules, but also the application form for the offline preparation. So you can already get an idea of what you can prepare. And then I leave also the link of the direct access to the EU survey for the final submission. Let's go. I will first go through the general information for the call, then key application rules, and then how to develop a strong application. So as we saw, why this call matters. We have seen in the years that European energy poverty has become even more a challenge. We experience a continuing increase of rising costs, inefficient housing, vulnerable household, and sometimes, as Mireia was saying, you start in a condition in which you have some specific funding from the governments that maybe are not in place anymore, and so you need to navigate also a changing political situation and political decisions to understand how to better address. So, and on the other side, what is that the limitation that we see at the local level? Often there are limited resources, not only on financial part, but also on the time for the local governments and local communities to commit to identify and better understand energy poverty. There is indeed a lack of data. So when we are trying to understand specifically at the local level how to identify vulnerable consumers, maybe we face the challenge to need to reach a level of information that is not available at the moment for the local governments, not even because they're mainly statistical data, and there is the challenge to use them to identify the beneficiaries for actions. And then there is the challenge to plan structural measures. As said, we are always maybe navigating more on emergency measures and how to understand how to convert in more structural changes. It's another challenge that the local governments faced. How the technical assistance respond to his. The tailored support gives you additional support in the human resources wise and expertise wise to help you overcome some of these limitations and move forward in your actions. We like to make it very hands-on on your activities and customize on what is the necessity at local level. We try to keep it also as broader as possible of the different technical assistances. So we go from diagnosis to planning to implementation. We will see the type of requests you can forward to us. It's really broad. However, it is important for us to keep in mind something that also Mireia underlined. The technical assistance need to be seen as a kickstart and a support to broader the view. But due to its a shape of technical assistance and the duration of 9 months, as we will see, it's helping to move forward, but then it needs a long-term commitment and medium-term commitment from the applicants also. On our website, if you want inspiration to understand the different activities we did, you can find different database. Among Mireia, we have across around 60 to 80 projects. You can navigate our technical assistance example. You can explore more if there was something in your country. Between the first two technical assistance, we didn't cover all the European Union country, but you can take inspiration also from others, and you will see all the different topics and all the different requests we received to get an idea of what you can get from us. You can also download a specific leaflet where it's underlined with some more detailed 6 inspirational cases from our technical assistances. How does it work? So we will have in total 2 technical assistants. This is the third one, and the fourth one will be next year. This third technical assistance will reward a total of 50 proposals. This 50 proposal, as said, will receive the tailored support from a local expert that will be delivered both in person and online. Normally, when we pair a winning proposal with a local expert, we try to go for a decision that privilege also proximity, to promote as much as possible to have meetings in person and the possibilities to follow. As you can imagine, not always this is feasible according to the request received, but we try our best to make sure that at least there are moments with the chance to meet in person with the expert and discuss directly. What is the type of support? It's, as I said, a value, so it goes between 60 and 150 hours of support. The variability, it depends not only on the topic, but on the specific member state that is applying. As you can imagine, member states has different rates, so it really depends on the country. The duration of the support can be adjusted to the needs. The maximum is up to 9 months, but of course there were local governments that had needs to be reaching a result in a shorter time because they had to deliver an internal plan or internal program. In that case, the technical assistance can also be shorter to respect the needs of the applicants. And then there is the broader things that it's not the specific topic, but each technical assistance is welcome to enter into a broader network. First of all, they will be in contact with continuously with EPAH team. And EPAH team works, it's because we are aware of all the technical assistance. It's to establish a direct connection with technical assistances that are working on the same topic in order to leverage and efficiently learn from each other directly during the technical assistance. But then, of course, there are other events and other moments in which you can enter in contact with the other realities and also learn from different activities that have been implemented under the same technical assistance. As we have seen, Besançon met Getafe because they were both beneficiaries of our previous technical assistance, and this resulted in a collaboration that gave them the possibility to develop new projects. So how can you apply? The eligible applicants are consortia. The consortia can be constituted from local governments. In case there is only one local government, it's considered a single proposal. In case local governments are joining forces and proposing an actions that address both or more of them, this is considered a bundle proposal. As we will see, this has the practical aspect. This has 2 different application forms. It doesn't change the information that you need to provide. It's just that if it is a bundle proposal, you have more space to detail your case. Because, of course, if you need to describe the situation in 2 or more local governments, you need more space word-wise. But the structure is exactly the same of the request we are asking. And then we give the possibilities to join with other partners. Other partners, it's quite broad. It can be the no-governmental organizations, civil society, energy agency, social center, research center, health centers, cooperatives, whatever you think that it's the stakeholders that are key to reach the objective of implementing the technical assistance and to reach your goals. I already tell, because we already received these questions from the Swedish webinar, it's not mandatory to apply in a consortium. A local government can apply alone. However, we always underline to try to be cautious and understand the internal resources and capacity. And as we were saying also with with the case of Besançon, for us, often partnership with other local stakeholders, it's a guarantee to have a better outreach and coordination and taking them already on board. But as I said, for the rules, one single local government can also apply alone without other partners. What can you ask for support? We divide in the 3 categories according to the EPA methodology, but of course you can also go out of these and be more broad. You can address 2 phases of the EPA methodology. As we have seen for Besançon, it was between diagnosis and planning. Someone is like that. When we're talking about diagnosis, the support can space from mapping, data collection, implementation of surveys, more detailed information, specific identification of vulnerable consumers to address a program you already have in place. For example, local government sometimes ask us that they received the funding for building renovation, but they had the need to better identify a methodology to narrow it down on the final beneficiaries. This is a case. Or a broader one, and then how to select specific indicators. This can be jointly, as I was mentioning by Alison, for the Covenant of Mayor. As we have seen in the reporting, there is the need to report some indicators, so it combines also with this fact. When we are moving about planning, this is a support to prioritize action. Maybe you have an idea of different actions that can be implemented, but the funds accessible are limited. So you have to decide which actions to choose first. To have a strategic planning, a long-term plan, to define the energy poverty actions plan. We always say is in our methodology, we identified as a separate action plan, but this is not mandatory. If you already had other ongoing plans and you want to integrate energy poverty in them, it's exactly fine for us, and it's just to work with you to how to better uniform the social aspect in the plan you have, integrating energy poverty in the CCAP, again, connected with the Covenant of Mayor, but also any other type of planning you might have. When we talk about implementation, this is a support more directed for the pilot projects. And again, it's as the technical assistance provide expertise, we have to underline this does not finance, for example, buying of equipment or something to implement the actions, but the type of support can be on the technical level. I give you an example. We had provide support for structuring one-stop shops, either in person, digital. We have a very good example of a movable one-stop shops that went on for a long time in Portugal, still ongoing, and then it was replicated in Italy. We have example on defining governance for inclusive energy communities. So even in this case, we don't specifically address energy community by themselves, so a normal energy community, let's say, EPA technical assistance support in the moment we want to transfer it and to be inclusive. So how to include vulnerable consumers and to develop a governance or financial model that is feasible for this task. Same for designing awareness campaign together, identifying the best financial measures, or it can be also broad. We went on very different topic. If you need also inspiration on top of the technical assistance, you can always also navigate our EPA Atlas, where there are examples of multiple projects going on energy poverty. This year we have something new in this third call of technical assistance. You will see it reflected in the application form, that it's the identification of severe energy poverty. 20 out of the 50 selected proposals will address areas that are particularly exposed to energy poverty. You find all the information in the application form. Specifically, there is a chapter in which you are asked to identify the severity of your condition. I will open after the application form to see where you find the information and everything, but I really welcome to read carefully what is written there, which type of information we are asking. So for us, severe energy poverty is often connecting with an overlapping of vulnerabilities. So you will see there that we ask specific details about vulnerability if you're exposed to extreme climate events, if you are a region under cold transitions, if there are other types of challenges that are building up one each other to create a condition for which there is a particular severity. At the end of the presentation, I will quickly open the application form so you can see which section I'm talking about. For us, this is also a very specific disclaimer we will go. Normally in areas with exposed to this high level of vulnerability, the challenges are even higher. So it's also combined with the capacity of the local governments or the local community to address. It's important to have a knowledge and understanding of the potential of improvements that can be done in these areas. So, for example, when we are talking about severe energy poverty, we have to understand that it's not possible to expect that in the 9 months of the technical assistance, the problem is completely solved. So it's important to define a technical assistance that gives the start, keep the information and support as much as possible to then keep the sustainability and consistency to move on in the upcoming period. Let's move with what makes a strong application and what is really important for us, taking in consideration that there is a high variability of topic you can submit. So we have an area that is the context analysis. As we were seeing also, and Mireia mentioned, we don't expect that an applicant already have a great or final ideas of the energy poverty conditions interlocal governments or interlocal communities. Because as I said, diagnosis for us, it's a part of the technical assistance. However, in this section, we ask as much as possible, following what it is in the description of the application form, to provide information that can help us and the evaluators to understand better what it is the condition. So there are some information that are already available, maybe across different departments or from the local stakeholders, and it's a matter to provide this information. This to say that context analysis, it's not needed to think to provide information that in your perception are directly connected with energy poverty. So we don't ask you to have available already the energy poverty indicator in the local governments. We know that sometimes this is not available by itself, but there is a series of other informations that we believe might be accessible for the local governments that helps us understand the condition. And you will find in the application form some advice of which information we are asking you to provide. Under this section, there is also the severe areas of presence of different type of vulnerabilities, and I said I will go through and we just discuss it. Then the type of assistance. So, of course, developing from the context based on what you have right now, it's what you really request that needs to have a clear alignment with what it's the context description you gave, based on if you provide some type of information about the citizens and the vulnerable consumers you want to reach, the type of assistance need to be consistent on addressing these needs that you underlined. The same for the type of knowledge and resources available among the consortium, meaning that if you ask a technical assistance that it's very specific, and that in a kind of way presume that you already have some knowledge, you have to provide details from the context or in the type of assistance that justify that you already have this basic knowledge. For us, what we will check is the consistency between these elements. So we will check that the requests you are submitting together with the context analysis, it's really something that is developed through a flow of having a needs and developing a request that actually address that needs. And we will also try to understand how much this is feasible, the feasibilities for the time frame and the technical assistance we have. So it's very important that you carefully design the information you're providing in the different sections, and there is a clear understanding of how these two reply to each other. In case you're applying in a consortium, it's also key for us that it's clear the relationship of the consortium and how the different members support each other and can help developing a better analysis and perspective and better impact from the technical assistance. As I said, the local governments, at least one, it's mandatory. For us, it's important as the political will, and it's key to maintain a sustainability and have a long-term vision. So it's also important for us that the role of the local governments is described, and it's key that they are aware that there needs to be some allocated resources to embrace the information they are receiving and to support the expert and the other member of the consortium to develop the action. Maybe one note about this, we always say in the type of assistance, the applicant is allowed to mention if you have in mind an expert you would like to work with. Maybe during a conference or during a meeting, you got in touch with an expert on a specific topic and you would like to explore the collaboration with them. It's allowed to mention it in the type of technical assistance. As EPA team, we will take your note into consideration. We will evaluate if the expert proposal is really the best for your case. And eventually, if the proposal is awarded, we will get back with saying, okay, the expert proposed it's feasible, or proposing other expert that we might believe it's more suitable for your technical assistance. How we suggest to proceed? We suggest for you to download all the documents from the website that I said are already deliverable. Read the application's details. So don't limit to the read of the description of the call, so the documents, but also start opening already the application form, because in the application form, inside each of the field, it's already giving some information and tips on how to fill specifically the form itself. You can prepare the application offline, so the documents you can download for the application form are both in PDF, but also in Word for you to take stock of developing the proposal, knowing about the different word limits and everything. And the last step will be to proceed with the submission on the EU survey before the deadline. As it might be that there is some challenge with the EU survey system, as you know, it's European Union system, so sometimes maybe they have also adjournments to do. We kindly welcome to try to submit not at the last moment, but to take some time before to address the situation. So for the support to the application, as I said, this is the first of a series of webinars that will span for the next 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks till the end of February, that are delivered in the national language. So if you want to know more about your national context, because many of these events, as we did today, not only present the rules of the call, but they present some other statistical or policy information of the country itself. So it can help you to know more also your network. So we welcome you to access the website and check what it is in your language. Of course, if you speak more languages and you want to have information from other countries, you can also access the one of the others. They're all under registration form. One specific thing, one of the countries, Finland specifically, will not have a dedicated webinar, but we will have allocated office hours where you can talk with the antenna and know more in your national language. You can always get in touch with the representative organizations. On our website under partner organizations, you see the list of all our antennas with their reference person, so you can contact them if you have specific questions. And of course, you can always write to the general emails that it's info@energypoverty.eu. The next lunch talk that we will have the 19th of February will be focused specifically on presenting other two good examples of technical assistances and what they get. So if you need additional inspiration, you will have the chance to see from them and to understand other options about it. So I welcome you to register if you want to know more. So this is just to invite you to apply, but before opening to the questions, I wanted also to quickly navigate with you the other documents that are available. So, as mentioned, the technical assistance website you find on the main home, the last page. Here you can directly download the documents. You have direct link to previous technical assistances and to the atlas. We are already starting developing a document where we address all the questions received. So you already have it accessible. As you will see, for example, one of the questions we received, it's specifically about the severe energy poverty. So here you can find more indications on how to detail specifically that section. You can find also some other 2-3 requests of clarifications that we received from the different webinars. So how can local governments apply a loan? That I already addressed during today's explanation. Some local governments ask specifically what is the effort required for them. And then if there is a predefined list of consultants, this is a question that was in the chat right now also. So just to say, no, we don't have a specific pre-list of selected consultants because we realized in the previous 2 technical assistances that it's quite a big effort to merge the proposal with the closest expert that can support at the best. So for us, it's really important to identify after. Normally, what we try to do as much as possible depends on the availability. It's eventually to select a couple of experts and give the applicants the possibility to choose among these. And of course, the applicants always have the possibility to ask if it's possible to change, if they have other preferences. But we don't have a full list about consultants. If you need inspiration also here, when you look at our technical assistances database, you find information not only about the applicants, but also the experts that supported them on this. A last thing I wanted to look with you, it was the 2 documents you have. So one, it's the description of the call with all the rules and information about to access the implementation of the applications. And this is the type of application form you will find. This is for single proposal, but as said, for bundle, the fields are exactly the same, just change the number of characters you can apply. And what I wanted to explain is I welcome you to read it because under context analysis and under each field, there is a short explanation on what we advise to write in text section. So for example, as said, context analysis, we don't require you to already have a diagnosis of energy poverty, but there are other informations that can be structured and help us understand your condition. So for example, the temperatures across the year, if the local community is more a rural or urban area, the number of inhabitants, average income, if there are existing social services related, if you have previous actions developed on energy poverty, the percentage of population if affected, if you know, on other areas of intervention. And the same when we go to describe the different other sections, we provided also some information to help you develop further your proposal. So we welcome you to read it in advance together with the description of the call. And this said, we can move to the questions. I see there are a couple in the chat already. Does the expert should be registered somewhere? As I said, no. Which are the different obligations between partner and local government, not as partner role in a bundle? I'm not sure I completely understand these questions, but the role of the different member of the consortium, this is part of the description we will ask, and it's up to you to detail what is the connections. So let's make an example. It's a local government supported by a civil society organization or social services that it's the local stakeholders that helps them outreach specific type of vulnerable consumers. So in that case, the relationship is, of course, that they work together to have a better outreach, to collect better data, and they support each other. But the type of involvements and time allocated by the 2 realities, it really depends on what it is the request. It's also quite broad. It can be, I don't know, a local government with a local community that it's looking to develop further to an energy community involving vulnerable consumers and inclusive energy community with the support of the local government. So even in this, the relationship of the partners, it really depends on the request. Can a partner applicant that is not a local government apply alone, local center for social worker, or in a consortium that does not include a local government? Unfortunately, no. For us, it's really important that at least one local government is involved. This has the main reason because for us, technical assistance, it's a chance to develop also a pictures of how local realities are addressing this challenge across Europe. And one of the mandate of EPAH is also to act as multi-level governance facilitator. So we include moments in which local governments has the chance to channel their message and make their voice heard directly at European Union level. But this is mainly political. For us, this is why local government, it's important to be involved. However, one thing you will find in the description of the call, because we know that there are different countries that during this period of submission are under political election, we don't require as mandatory any letter of support in the application phase. This is to facilitate the technical staff inside the local governments to develop the technical assistance and the proposal with other partners. The letter of support from the local government will, however, be asked as mandatory in the moment of signing the contract, but not at this stage. And we hope that this maybe can facilitate working together with some local government. Question that we received in preparation for the Estonian webinar was whether this is a soft project or cold investment also be involved. I said, no, this is a technical assistance. So the budget, first of all, the money are directly gone to the expert. What the applicants receive, it's technical expertise. This is why we decline it in the number of hours of expertise you can receive to reach the goal. Mean that also the money cannot be used and will not be used to buy equipment. Let's say that the technical assistance aim to develop an awareness campaign and want to print material. The part of printing of material, it's not included of the technical assistance. The technical assistance will help them design, identify, organize, but not equipment or any type of goods. Any other question either in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and ask directly. Fernando, yes?
Yes, thank you. Well, as Getafe has been mentioned a couple of times, I didn't want to miss this opportunity to encourage all the people that are attending this meeting to apply for this third call, because we have been beneficiary for the first and the second calls, and it was really, really a leverage for us for keeping on doing things regarding the first call with energy communities. Now we have the first energy community in Getafe, and wouldn't be possible without the help of the EPAH. And in the second call, we have been the beneficiaries for some technical assistance in order to develop district heating. We have not been successful in this issue, but we still going deeper in this issue, trying to learn when, how, and how, principally how to implement district heating in our city. So I encourage every one of you to apply, because you never know when you are going to be able to get this feedback and the aftermaths of being part of this technical assistance. So be brave and apply for it. We will.
Thank you. I see a message in the chat for the link to register for the lunch talk. I look at Marco, maybe you have it at hand that you can put in the in the chat. We will soon circulate an email with all the links and everything for register to our newsletter. So make sure that you are registered to our newsletter. And I think after this, I will check the event page. As you can imagine, the event page is quite packed with 27 webinars. So it might be that also the events slip a little bit in the pages in the upcoming days, and it's difficult to find. But you have the direct link in the chat to connect to it. If there is no other questions, I mean, we stayed in 1 hour. We allocated 90 minutes to be on the safe side because you never know, but we always aim to be quite short and straight to the point. We hope we were able not only to give you the information about the rules for the technical assistance, but thanks to Mireia and Fernando also to give an idea of the potential of the technical assistance and some idea on which kind of topics you can apply for. You have seen Besançon did the diagnosis and then planning, focusing on financing instruments to keep it going, while Getafe works on energy community and district heating, so something more under implementation, but it's actually quite broad. Can entities owned by the municipality apply instead of the municipality itself? Public housing company, they are considered as other members of the consortium. As said, when we say the involvement of a local government, it's really to be engaged in the political dialogue across the multi-level governance elements. So, of course, yes, but they do not consider as the local government's representative. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. We will try our best to also reply when the question has been addressed, but because it needs to be publicly addressed, it might be that you don't receive the specific reply to your email, but the request will be updated in the question and answer file. So for this reason, we welcome you to keep on monitor also the question and answer file. Keep in mind, we allow to receive requests till almost the deadline, but we cannot guarantee it will be addressed if it is received in the last 5 days before the submissions. You will find all this information in the call descriptions, but just to underline more that if you have questions, the sooner the better. And with this, I thank you very much for attending this 1 hour. That is the first. And I hope to see your submission in the technical assistance.